Hey, welcome to HR Famous, brought to you by Kinetics, the leading RPO recruiting firm for growth companies. Named by HRO Today as the top midsize RPO provider, Kinetics uses its unique skill-based recruiter model to deliver on RPO engagements, allowing them to customize scope to meet your unique hiring needs. If you have recruiting challenges and want to consider RPO as a solution, give Kinetics a call. Find them online at kineticshr.com. HR Famous is also brought to you by HRU Tech, a contingent staffing firm specializing in engineering, IT, and technically related placements across multiple industries. If you're looking for technical talent or searching for a career, look no further than HRU Tech. Find them online at hrutech.com and call them today. Hey, what's up, friends? Chris Dunn, the HR Famous podcast. It's that time of the year coming up on Halloween, and there's nothing scarier than facing the intellectual prowess on a podcast of people like JLee and Tim Sackett. Hi to you both. Jessica, I'll start with you. What's happening with Halloween? You've got young kids. Are you going out and about? And are you putting candy out, or will you have candy available for the kids? Or is it just a big hell no on the whole Halloween thing for you this year?
It is a hell yes with modifications. We've decided we want a neighborhood block party where DJ Bobby J will DJ for the neighborhood.
Oh my God.
Good call.
I want to see the DJ Bobby J's Disney hit list, like the Disney Radio Disney DJ Bobby J.
No, DJ Bobby J will DJ. Everyone will have, to be safe, their own bag of candy. So kids will not, go around and get candy from everyone, but they'll have a bag of candy. And I am so excited because my children are getting into Star Wars. So we are all going as Star Wars things.
Okay. Do you have assignments for the roles? We'd love to hear about that.
Well, so Bobby J is not sure he wants in on it. However, my daughter is going to be Princess Leia. My son is going to be Poe. And I am going to be Padma Amidala because, I got to be Princess Leia's mother, apparently. Mm-hmm. So.
You should make Bobby J be like C-3PO. Just make him all dressed up.
No, he wants to be a sumo wrestler, and I think it's really lame. Get in on the family costume. Come on.
So are you going to turn that around? Are you going to get him to go with you guys on the Star Wars theme, or is that a done deal?
I don't know. Maybe I should just buy him something and then just surprise him.
Do like a Mandalorian one or something, something that you can hide behind.
Tim Sackett, you've got older kids.
Yeah.
Only one is really left in high school. What's going on in DeWitt, Michigan for Halloween?
October 31st, Michigan State football, assuming that we don't have blow-up of COVID cases. And so we are doing a neighborhood tailgate Halloween party. Costumes are mandatory.
Love it. Do you know what you're going to be?
Well, I might go as President Trump.
Oh my God, of course you will.
Just because I've done that one before and it came off really well because I somehow have I can get that orange skin tone down really well.
It's probably coming off less well this year.
And that's why. So then I go well, maybe I should do the Biden one, and I got to figure out what that look would be. So
aviator sunglasses.
Yeah. Super white hair, I can figure it out,
I've got a semi-pro basketball outfit with a blonde afro wig if you want that, Tim. Of course, it'd be a little long on you.
Well,
because I'm taller.
Tuck it. Yeah, for sure.
What about favorite candy, worst candy, Tim? I'll go to you first.
It's like the first time in 4 shows you've gone to me first. I think the hashtag Me Too thing has just overwhelmed you so much you go to Jessica automatically.
That's right. I can't not. You do the same thing.
Everyone listening, I want you to think I'm the good one out of all of us. I go to Jessica first.
You do the same thing. We're both doing what is required and what we should. Jessica always says, be better, man. We're just trying to be better.
My favorite Halloween candy are the Reese's pumpkins, either the mini ones or the big ones. They have a little bit more peanut butter to chocolate ratio than the typical Reese's peanut butter cup. They're the best ones by far.
Well, it's better to get them on after Easter or on Easter because those egg ones are like tons of peanut butter.
Yeah, but the new pumpkin ones are just like the same as it's almost the same thing as the egg. Those are way better.
Yeah. So Jessica, there's nothing better for me than just going bite-sized Snickers. It's guilt-free when I go to the bite-sized Snickers and the Halloween candy. What about you? What do you like best? And then we'll do worst.
What are you? Like, what's that? Like a 1973 candy you came up with?
Snickers?
At least you didn't say like.
Have you even watched TV lately?
Like, did he say like Milky Way or something, right? Like,
I like a Kit Kat bar. I like a Kit Kat bar.
By the way, do you know the filling of a Kit Kat bar? What the filling is?
It's like a wafer.
Yeah, but it's actually crunched up like Kit Kat bars that didn't make it through the process right, and they just crunch that up and make it into the wafer. So you're eating the Kit Kat. You're actually eating old Kit Kat into Kit Kat. Well, not really old Kit Kat, but just crunched up Kit Kat.
Jessica, worst candy. I'm going to you first on this, as I should, and as is my norm.
I mean, it's candy corn. Like, it's disgusting. Just no.
Okay, Tim? Werther's Originals or something like that.
Those are good. I like them.
Not for kids though, right? Like if you get that, someone put that in your kid's bag, you're like, what psycho did that, right?
I think for me, candy corn's a good one. Also, do you ever like get those Bit-O-Honeys like in the bag? Those are awful. Out. Like, I don't know why anybody even does that. And Tim, like I'm disappointed in you going age-related discrimination on me for the Snickers.
Well, it is
Snickers bar. Yeah, see them advertised every year.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, speaking of bad stuff happening in organizations, let's go to our first topic. BlackRock, kind of a well-known firm, has ordered 16,000 employees to inform their managers of romantic, sexual, and personal relationships they have not only inside the company, but with anyone connected to the company. Tim and Jessica covers staff and I guess partners from a service provider, vendor, or other third party, including clients, extending a relationship disclosure policy to external firms. Pretty unusual. And BlackRock's policy potentially covers hundreds of thousands of relationships. This is written at Business Insider. And if there is a chance of the disclosed personal relationship creating a conflict of interest, the company may, quote, make alternative work arrangements according to BlackRock's policy outlined in a memo seen by the New York Times. So, Tim, I'm coming to you first as our expert on all things harassment related.
I guilted him, JLee.
Yeah, I'm coming to you as our expert on not harassing people, but just things that are
inappropriate behavior.
Yeah, inappropriate behavior. Thank you, Jessica. Yeah. So, Tim, they already had a policy that kind of covers employee relationships within the employee base, but now they're really extending that. Is this a bad reach or a good reach in your eyes?
Well, the big miss here was that they didn't put the policy out of who you can have sex with now, right? Like they should just put that out.
It would have been shorter.
Here's the 5 names of people you can have sex with in the city that you live. Like, I think this is stupid. Now, I understand, like, it's a financial institution and there's, crazy things that happen that people do to try to get insider information. At the same time, like, how many degrees of separation are we going to do? Like, can we have sex with anybody anymore? We already know, like, all the research shows that Gen Zs and millennials aren't even having sex anymore. Like, we've come into it, we're becoming a sexless nation. That's my take.
Hashtag that for me, Timmy.
Hashtag sexless nation. I can't even say it again.
Wow.
You should come out with a book. That sounds like a book title. Tim Sackett, author of Sexless Nation.
Jessica, follow that up. That's a hell of a hashtag right there.
Well, I think I'm not sure I understand it. And like part of some of what people are saying is like in the time of COVID and a pandemic where people are working at home, like you need to better understand people's relationships. But do we really? Like, no, if I put my HR hat on, I don't think I want to know about every single possible personal relationship someone has with another person? And like, what's the parameters on it? What if it was like a one night stand? What if it's just a 2-month fling and you're over that person? Cause then you have to let them know you're no longer like dating that person. Like, I just don't understand it. I don't want to know. TMI.
BlackRock sounds like a sexy name, like some startup name or whatever, but it's super conservative financial fiduciary crap. And they're just like, we don't want one of our brokers sleeping with someone at a company that has insider information. Then we get in trouble if we haven't like actually disclosed this stuff up front. That's all this is. It's ridiculous.
So you have to understand the policy. You have to understand what companies have recently been through. So they've just recently had a couple of high profile things. There's a guy named Mark Wiseman, who was the head of active equities, said last December that he engaged in a consensual relationship with a fellow employee without reporting it. And then heads up HR, Jeffrey Smith, BlackRock's human resources head, was fired July 2019 for breaking company rules on disclosing relationships, the Wall Street Journal reported. So they had a couple high-level people, including their HR leader. So they already had this policy.
Move of the week.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving his ass out.
It's Jeffrey Smith, CHRO move of the week, moving to starting his own consulting firm. So Jessica, you've got to understand where people have been. So the fact that they already had a policy, no relationships between employees, and if you have one, you've got to report it. Like based on that stuff that happened with a couple of like leaders, classic overcorrection, right?
Classic, way overcorrection. I don't know. I just like, if I think back to my 20s, as a single person, I don't really understand, like, what is the point of this? There's like so many blurred lines where like I am obsessed with someone one week and then I'm not the next week. And no, this is a mess. I do hope, and I think they are doing this though, is like third party to help manage this, because no one wants to like have this data internally and have to make decisions and figure out how to manage it. Like, you need a very neutral third party for this.
JLee, can you imagine the slut report we would pull in HR? Like how many times like somebody's come in and tell us I have a new relationship. I'm out of that relationship. I have a new relationship. We're going to force rank the sluts in the organization. When I say sluts, I mean men and women. Like here's a slut report.
Yes. I mean, if they're really serious about it, what they should also do is like at the end of every like big internal company meeting, conference, like, group team bonding trip, like they should have like an exit process when you're returning back to the home office or leaving that trip. Like you got to report out on what's happened between like shenanigans between like at team building events or things of that sort. I mean, come on.
Hey, I misspoke. It's not the New York Times. It's Times from the UK. And I want to do some math on this. So I've got a couple of things for you. Both of you can react to. First of all, the math is there's 16,000 employees at BlackRock. They kind of they're doing this math. Extending a relationship policy to external firms is unusual, and BlackRock's policy potentially covers hundreds of thousands of relationships. Tim Sackett, how much sex do they think the people at BlackRock are actually having?
I just want to know, do I have to disclose, I would only have to disclose one because I'm a happily married, faithful husband. But I'm wondering, if you how far does that go down the list?
Disclaimer.
I'm having sex with my hairdresser. She talks to the person who works at she works on a competing firm that does hair for that person. So now do I have to disclose that? Come on, it's too difficult.
So Jessica, the other thing that's problematic with this is that I get especially with what just happened with the McDonald's CEO and what happened in 2019 with BlackRock, I can see you trying to get your arms around relationships of an intimate nature. I won't give the hashtag that Sim. You want to give the hashtag, Tim?
Sexless nation.
So here's the language of this, Jessica. It's pretty freaky. The company policy, it not only covers sexual relationships, but it also covers personal relationships, and it defines it as one that could be perceived as impropriety, bias or include these things, favoritism or abuse of authority within a work environment, but it does not include friendships. And I'm just like, you almost need like an algorithm to figure out, like, is there a 9-box grid that I can get
you need an app.
Grid out like my stuff? An app would be good, right?
Yeah. Like what the name in the app.
What would that app do for me, Jessica? If I'm at BlackRock and I'm like, well, I don't want to lose my job like Jeffrey, the head of human resources did. So I better comply. What would the app look like?
Hi, this is Stacey Harris.
And this is Terry Zipper, and we're the host of the 2 podcasts under the HR Huddle.
On Spilling the Tea on HR Tech, we uncover the latest trends, truths, and challenges from Sapient Insight Group's groundbreaking research and our analyst insights, serving up everything you need to know about HR tech with no sugarcoating.
And on HR, we have a problem. We tackle the toughest workplace challenges head on, offering you expert advice and actionable solutions to help HR leaders thrive in today's fast-changing world. Whether you want the scoop on tech or tools to solve people problems, we've got you covered.
Take a listen and subscribe. If you want to become part of our community, we'd love to see you.
You would start by answering a series of questions around the frequency and nature of the interaction. So you want to get at frequency, the nature, the duration of this relationship. And then the final thing would be, who is the person? So what department, what level? And then it would triangulate for you, like on a scale, how bad is this?
Stoplight, red, yellow, green.
Yeah. Yes. And then you would hit transmit and it would get right to HR and then you would get the call.
I like where you're going with this. I think you forgot one very important thing, Jessica. Was there physical contact? And what were the physical contact points that were contacted between 2 people? Wouldn't you want that in the app, Jessica?
Yeah. No. Oh, I thought I covered that.
You did? Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't cover that.
Oh, of course. That's very important. But what is also important is I pity the HR folks at BlackRock who have to now deal and manage with this. Like, I actually think that's just putting HR in a really unfortunate and like uncomfortable situation. Like, I wouldn't want that taint of being HR and having to deal with this. No, thank you.
Yeah. So somebody comes to cater like a lunch and you see them out in the environment and you have a conversation with them and it goes deep. And now you learn that they're bipolar and they're depressed. That's potentially a personal relationship where you have, I guess, some type of authority on them. We do need an app, I guess is the best way to say this. Tim Sackett, you hashtagged all this sexlessnation. It's like a masterful stroke on your part. No pun intended.
That's the name of our pod episode today.
So final thoughts on this.
Oh, I think I agree with Jay and you. Like, I think this is just overreach, and it's going to be hard to actually ever, like, I don't know. I think it's a crappy employee experience, and I think it's hard to actually, follow through on. And ultimately, some CHRO will be hired that has a brain on their shoulders, and they'll actually change this and make it more adaptable. So.
Okay, like we'll see. I hope the app is easy to use, JLee.
I know.
And I hope there's never a leak of the app data.
Hey, by the way, speaking of that, I got a notification on Chrome, and I would encourage everybody in the workplace to check this out. I got a notification that came down from the Chrome tags that said that some of my passwords that are tracked by Chrome have been part of a data breach. And I actually went, so I'm like, well, that's interesting. So I went into Chrome, and do you know that like I'm tracking like 90 passwords, like in Chrome, which is amazing in its own right, like in the digital lives we lead. Do you know that almost 40 out of the 90 have been involved in a data breach? Yes. Most of them didn't matter, but it was amazing the amount of data breaches that were out there that Chrome reported on too. You're not surprised, Jessica Lee.
No, like the other thing is like if you check like some of the credit reports or credit monitoring services and like the amount of times they say your email address is being, on the black web.
Yeah.
Like it sucks. There's no privacy.
Well, what you don't want to see is a data breach on the hashtag sexlessnation app that's coming soon to BlackRock.
I have $10,000 in a hoodie. Let's get this thing off the ground.
All right. Hey, changing tracks. We're going to talk a little bit. Tim kind of brought this to us. I think it's good to have a conversation on. I know I have some opinions. So Tim, we're going to talk a little bit about a Simon Sinek video, Trust versus Performance. We'll link to it in the show notes. Do you want to set this up for us? And I'll just kind of throw hosting duties to you and I'll become a commentator.
So, I'm doubting that anyone listening doesn't know Simon Sinek. He's kind of like thought leadership candy for your ears kind of thing. Like he's one of those, what's the other, Marcus Buckingham? Like there's always like sexy dudes that wear tight shirts that get on stage and they have usually like an English voice and they talk about all this great stuff that no one will ever do, but like it sounds great. And so I like Simon, like he's easy to listen to. It's like Gladwell and Marcus Buckingham and all these guys. So he's got a short little video, like 90 seconds. And he was talking about some research they did with the Navy SEALs that really kind of tried to correlate performance to trust, thinking of like, Katie, you love the 9 box, but if you just take like any kind of thing and say, okay, low performance, low trust, nobody wants to hire those people, right? You're not trustworthy. You perform crappy. Everybody wants to hire the highest performer and the highest trust. And what they found was that if you take a look at the other edges, which would be the highest performer, but low trust, or super high trust, but kind of average or weak performer, what the Navy SEALs found, which, are like the highest performing kind of culture in the world or known to be, they would rather have a mid-level performer with super high trust over a super high performer that had low trust. And I, when I saw it, I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. But like we focus so little on trustworthiness or trust when we actually hire. I'm really wanting to get, the feedback from you guys. I thought it was just an interesting thing because it just kind of struck me at how we constantly talk about performance and rarely do we ever even focus on trust. So I'll start with KD and try to get this. But KD, what do you think? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I listened to the video, and when you sent it, I'd seen it before, and it kind of came back to me. So I buy what Simon is saying there, but I'll say this, and then I'm going to dig in. I just picked up a book. I want to refer to it to you, but I want to throw it to JLee before I do that. So I buy everything that he's saying. One of the problems I have with it is I think when you think about hiring for teams, I think there's something alive and well in a lot of companies where people are threatened by high performers. And I think this distinction between whether someone is a lone wolf who could be low trust and in it for themselves, I think saying that they're that becomes a proxy for you being comfortable with the level of talent you're hiring. So our goal is always want to hire people better than ourselves, Jessica. But so I buy everything that Simon's saying in the video, but I think there's some shades of gray in it.
Yeah. The thing that I was after I got over his shirt, how many buttons were open. But I do like Simon Sinek. I love him actually, but sometimes I'm like, oh, you need one more button on that shirt, sir. The thing is, that's a hard lesson for a leader to learn, is this piece around, ensuring that you're surrounding yourself with people who you can trust. And I think most times you only learn that you can't trust someone through a mistake or when they have effed up on something. And so that's actually the thing that I was curious of your thoughts on as my sage, wise friends is how do you determine this? You want to trust everyone up front. You don't usually know that you've got a trust problem until somewhere later on down the line. And so how do you get at this?
No, it actually speaks to the new book that Gladwell has out, Talking to Strangers, because he talks a lot about this default to truth, and that we tend as just humans to always believe like that somebody's being trustworthy to us, right? That they're saying whatever they're saying is they're saying the truth. And when you talk about trust, that means we constantly default to believing everybody is going to be trustworthy. We rarely, unless someone shows us specifically they can't be trustworthy, we believe that they're fully trustworthy. When in reality, it's probably not even close to, to that. Like, it's probably, there's just way too many untrustworthy people out there. So I do think and I don't necessarily buy into some of the witchcraft of assessments that will measure trustworthiness, like especially some of the old stuff. I'm wondering if there's new stuff out there that's more accurate, but I don't know how you actually prove that and how they would say, like the Navy SEALs would go. I'm guessing through their training, they go through things where you have to trust somebody, or I don't know. Like I would love to know that part of it, because I think that's where in line where you go, oh, I fully trust this person with my life. Thus, even an average performer versus somebody that goes, I don't think they're out for my best interest, right? They're out for their own interest, which becomes one of the issues at play.
So the classic scene, right, is from Top Gun, early in Top Gun, right? Where, help me out. Is it Iceman?
Yeah,
Timmy?
and Goose. Iceman and Goose.
Well, Iceman is the rival to Maverick.
Oh, yeah. To
Maverick doesn't cover Iceman's wing, but he does at the end, so there's trust. One of the things I want to bring up, I think like some of the shades of gray, and I'll try and be brief on this, is I think people could lock into this. And I think like somebody being a team player, I think is a component of trust. But if you like assess somebody being low team, that's really focused on their own performance, can do great things on your team. I just like anytime you assess this, I use assessments a lot. And I view them as better than witchcraft. There's still like some things you got to work through. I just think people like will hear this message, and I think it's a proxy for a reason not to hire somebody really good. By the way, the thing I got out of my seat for a little bit is I want to give a shout out to Ed Baldwin out of Denver, writer at FOT and friend of the program. He referred me to a book called The Thin Book of Trust by a guy named Charles Feltman. He was actually doing some internal training, and it's an interesting quick read. It's an inexpensive buy, like $10. And one of the interesting things about that was Feltman in this like small, like kind of handbook of trust defines like trust as sincerity, reliability, which I think we kind of view what trust is. Are you reliable? But one of the things that was eye-opening for me is trust is also competence, that you can actually do the job and you can be good at your job. So he defines trust in like 3 or 4 different ways, and it kind of expands the conversation a little bit. By the way, Jessica, I'm glad you were uncomfortable with that last button on Simon's shirt, because I got to tell you,
you were too.
I was uncomfortable, and I was like, "Is this segment at BlackRock?" Because I think it's a keynote at BlackRock's annual. Never mind.
No.
Well, but so like those dimensions of trust, I guess if you're going to call it like something like that, I don't actually know that like that's enough, like or it goes far enough in terms of like how do you define whether or not you trust someone or they're trustworthy, because there's also like a piece around what do they do with information? How do they hold it, guard it?
Right.
Their ability, like, do they have your back, and do you trust that they have your best interests at heart? And so like, there's these other that probably expand outside the workplace. There's like these other facets of trust that like, I think are super relevant. And it's like, I don't know how you get at those things, and determine whether or not
I worked for an organization that had a CEO that would send out information to his direct reports that was different to find out what would get shared, and then nail them and fire them based on, because he felt like he had somebody in his inner circle that was untrustworthy. And so he did that exercise, and I was just like, and I didn't know until after. And because I was one of the people that got sent information that didn't share and found out afterwards. And I'm like, dude, you cannot do that. Like, if people know that's kind of the person you are, like, holy crap, like that's untrustworthy right there. No one's going to trust you with telling you anything.
Manipulative.
Well, I think what I found out from that book that I cited, and I'll throw it in the show notes, from Charles Feltman, is that trust, to your point, Jessica, has a bunch of different dimensions. And I think historically we only view it as reliability. Are you there when I need you? But it's actually bigger than that and broader than that. So I think it works in the 2.5 minute video that Simon did in his keynote at BlackRock. However, I think it's a bigger conversation, one I'd like to dig into in the future. Tim, last thing before we go, did you tell us? Did you make a final decision on what your Halloween outfit was going to be? You said Trump. You're leaning off of Trump a little bit.
I've done that one before. It was easy, so I might try to pull off Biden. I might have to do that.
Yeah, good luck with that. It's going to take. It'll take less makeup, I guess. Is the best.
It'll be harder for my wife to pull off Kamala, but yeah,
Okay, that's a great place to end. Hashtag sexlessnation. Tim's already. Don't even try and go out and get the URL because Tim's already done that.
He was on GoDaddy during the show and just.
So good luck to the HR people at BlackRock. We all trust Simon Sinek to do great 2.5 minute videos that simplify everything down to a video. She's Jessica Lee. He's Tim Sack, and I'm Chris Dunn. Until next time, that's the HR Famous Podcast. We are out.